that a mutant in your pocket? Doop-a-doo. We better make haste or let that meat go to waste in the wasteland.
After millennia of armed conflict, the destructive nature of man can sustain itself no longer, and the world is plunged into an abyss of nuclear fire and radiation. But it was not, as some had predicted, the end of the world. Instead, the apocalypse was simply the prologue to another bloody chapter of human history. By 2270, the descendants of those remaining had built new societies in the rusted world, welding together atomic age futurism and mutated, desolate brutality. It's an unforgiving world where your odds of survival are constantly changing. But war never changes.
Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.
Today we're playing Fallout, and Austin is running it. So he's the game bastard today.
Yeah,
Good.
it's gonna be, because I'm rolling for everything that's fighting you guys.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is when Austin's luck will turn, and he'll roll double ones.
Oh,
Yeah,
He's
every
gonna
now and then it
kill it.
happens, and today's the day, right?
Natural 20s for days.
Yeah. Well, this will at least be a couple of sessions, so unless you guys just die right off the bat, which I don't see happening.
Maybe.
So this is Fallout, the role-playing game. We've been super excited to play this for a while. This is another 2D20 system from Modifius. Fallout actually has interesting history in the world of role-playing games. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I can't remember, Kyle.
I think that sounds right.
The first Fallout video game was kind of the first attempt to introduce the rules of tabletop role-playing and open-ended storytelling to the world of video games. In fact, the first Fallout game was based on the GURPS system.
Yeah, I think it was GURPS. I think they moved away from it later.
They did. By the time Bethesda was publishing the Fallout games, they now use the Special system, which has been translated back to tabletop games because that's what we're playing with today. Special is named after the attribute set that each character is given: strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and then luck, which gives you extra advantages. Outside of the normal advantages afforded you by action points, which is this game's version of momentum and threat.
Okay.
You can use luck points to basically just change the odds in the game. Before you attempt a skill check, use luck instead of the default attribute for that test. You can use it to skip initiative and take a turn out of order. And you can also spend luck to re-roll dice in a dice pool. You can re-roll 1d20 or up to 3 damage dice.
So there's I forget the name of what the currency is, but there's a similar mechanic to that in Octon Cthulhu and Dune and Conan.
Yeah, it was momentum and stuff.
Fortune.
Yeah.
Fortune.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the Conan
That's right. I
one,
forgot
right?
that was a part of those, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So, like with all other 2D20 games, your attributes are getting combined with a skill to give the difficulty number that you're trying to hit. So, say, for example, you're trying to shoot someone. You're using small guns, which is a skill that combines with agility. If you have a small gun skill of 2 and an agility of 5, you're trying to just beat a 7, roll under a 7, and you're trying to do that with 2d20.
And you need a certain number of successes, right? Depending on...
So for shooting someone with a small gun in close range, the difficulty would be 1, so all you'd need to do would be to hit at least 1 success. Combat and damage work largely the same way for those who have heard our Octoon Cthulhu series. On hits, you roll a certain number of damage die. The damage table is exactly the same as all other 2D20 games. 1 and 2 are 1 and 2 points of damage. 3 and 4 are nothing. And 5 and 6 are 1 point of damage and an effect. The other thing of note is that all of you will notice on your character sheet, you've got a preordained initiative number. And then you have a defense score and damage resistance for each body part.
So we only get damage resistance from armor, I'm assuming. Because I have armor on my right arm, or my left arm and my torso, and on my sheet. That's where my damage resistances are.
Yeah, it basically, whatever your armor covers, that's where you get the damage resistance. The 4 types of damage are physical damage, energy damage, poison, and radiation damage.
Gotcha.
And then, of course, you've got some perks and traits on the back of your character sheet. The only other thing that's unique to this one is the targeting system. So people who've played the Fallout Bethesda games are familiar with the, I believe it's called the VATS targeting system. which allows you to target specific body parts with higher or lower odds of successful hits. If you hit, I'm going to roll randomly to see where the hit lands. If you would like to target a specific body part, the difficulty of the check automatically goes up by 1, but if you can make it, you can automatically just hit that body part. Obviously, never forget each of the skills. You've got the attribute associated with them. You've got the rank for it. If it is marked as a tagged skill, that means whatever your rank is becomes your crit range. So if it's just like in Conan or Octoon Cthulhu, if it's a specialized skill, that just means that it's a little bit easier for you to score crit.
Okay, cool.
So
Gotcha.
instead of a 1, if you're rank 3 in melee weapons,
A 1, 2, or a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that
a
becomes
crit is an additional success, right?
yeah, a crit counts as 2 successes.
Okay, fine. I do have a question.
Okay.
What the fuck is Fallout? Cal and Austin have both played the game, right?
I've played it very little.
Okay. I'm just not familiar
yeah.
whatsoever, and I know Todd's not a video gamer either, so...
Yeah.
Back in the day, I went to a friend's house and we were hammering beers and I played Fallout for 2 hours. I remember virtually none of it.
Okay.
That is so.
So I've played all the way through 3, at least a couple of times. I still own that game. I love it a lot. I've not played any of the other ones, but they're essentially all the same general setting, only taking place in a different kind of geographical area. So Fallout is the world after the apocalypse, but the caveat being the apocalypse wasn't the end of the world. It just kept on churning.
And the apocalypse happened in the 1950s.
Yeah. So, well, not happened in the 50s, but culturally, America was stuck in the 50s.
Gotcha.
At the beginning of the atomic age.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So imagine like all of the fucking excess and futurism and just Jetsons like ideology that we had back in the 50s. Not to mention
racism.
probably not to mention probably the racism and
Sexism.
homophobia. Yeah. And
So it's just fucking terrible.
yeah, and
But
yeah,
worse.
it's just awful. And as society got more advanced, our ideals did not, and we eventually ran out of resources, entered World War III, and just bombed the fuck out of each other. And so now the world is this strange, kind of bolted together mess of desert wastelands in between all of these like just steel and scrap cities that still use neon and 50s signage and shit.
I feel like you're just describing Ohio.
Well,
Oh, this is very different. We're headed out to this is more Colorado territory now.
Oh, so it'll be prettier than Ohio.
yeah, legal weed,
Yeah. Yeah.
bad hippie smells.
Now is Cleveland
And a lot of fucking bunkers.
Beer
Is-
festivals.
are all the games set in Colorado?
No. The primary world of the tabletop role-playing game is, I think, the same as Fallout 4, which is Boston. Fallout 3 takes place in Washington, D.C. So anyway, it's a pretty rich world. That, I mean, not physically, but in terms of all the different characters that you can run into, the creatures you can find, and the different factions of people that you'll come across. And I got to say, the starter adventure is a pretty great microcosm of most of the stuff that you encounter in the game.
I've been pretty happy with all of the Modifius starter adventures we've played.
Yeah, they've been fun. I think it's
yeah.
one of our favorite systems to play.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If it's as fun as a quick trip to France, it'll be good.
Sure.
Yeah, I think you'll really like it. So with that in mind, I think what comes next is why don't you guys tell us a little bit about your characters?
Okay.
Kyle, who the fuck are you?
Oh, hey there, my name's Pickle.
That's what I was hoping for.
Sorry, I should give you. I'm actually a super mutant. I'm descended from a long line of super mutants. We go all the way back to one of my ancestors, one of my great ancestors, Gerald Fitzsimmons from the great Empire of Maine.
Oh, no.
So my full name is Pickle Fitzsimmons Buckeater.
Oh, okay.
The Buckeater's just a fun name because one time my friend Bob saw me eating a deer. And he said, "Oh, you're a Buckeater." And I said, "That's funny." But anyway, I'm just out in the world exploring. I've made some best friends recently. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm immune to all radiation and poison.
So being a super mutant, Kyle is kind of the tank of the group.
But I also have the perk Comprehension. So after you use the bonus gain from reading a magazine, roll 1 damage. If you roll an effect, You may use that bonus one additional time. So reading a magazine, Austin, is that some in-game, like, are there magazines in Fallout?
So there's a lot that goes into leveling up your character the same way you would in a tabletop role-playing game in the video games. And you can find quick ways to level up your skills and attributes by reading books that you find in the wasteland. If you're raiding a scientific lab and happen to find a manual on biology, you can actually bring your science skill up.
So I can get better skills from pawing through a bunch of old copies of Hustler.
If you can make a good argument for which skill that's going to play into, I will absolutely give it to you.
Well, I mean, clearly it's going to improve my speech.
Yeah.
Or throwing.
But that's, I mean, I'm a super mutant, so obviously Pickle's strength is really high, his endurance is really high. Actually, intelligence, not his lowest stat. It'd be agility.
Huh.
Well, it's like my old dad used to say, it doesn't pay to be the fastest, but sometimes if you're the slowest, you can still get there fast if you get in a car.
What? Huh.
There are no cars in the world of Fallout.
What?
He was full of woodsy aphorisms like that.
So, Todd, how about you?
All right, man, let me tell you my story. When I started out life, I was known as Student 1179F. I was in Vault 75. I'm a vault dweller.
Oh.
I was the smartest boy in my class. And just before graduation, I found out that they were taking all the smart students and murdering them and selling them off for genetic testing. So me and my fellow students, we got together and we did one of them coups. We murdered.
Otherwise known as a pleasant walk in the vault.
Well, I don't know. You make a coup sound sexy, strangely.
Don't you remember when you were in grade school and you did one of them coups?
Hey,
We just toured the vault. That's all we did.
Yeah.
So we murdered all the other teachers and scientists.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then we came up out of the vault. Once I came up out of the vault, I began searching for things that would help me improve my knowledge in computers and artificial intelligence. And I didn't want the name 1179F anymore, so I changed it to Duke Fury.
That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, nice.
That's a Fallout character like crazy.
I thought it was, I did not see Duke Fury coming. I thought, okay, it's going to be Elvis or something.
I love that.
Duke Fury.
Well, I didn't want it to be too on the nose.
Sure, no, you nailed it.
So, Todd, is that from the actual background of your character sheet?
Yeah, these are
that is
pre-made
that is the
characters.
actual background. I did come up with the name Duke Fury though, because I didn't like.
Yeah,
the other one.
we're using pre-gen characters from the starter kit. There's extensive background information about each one of these characters. The only thing that I told the guys feel free to change was the name because they're all kind of lame.
Yep.
I totally ignored my background.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, obviously highly intelligent
And what kind of... Are you a creature? Or what kind of creature were you?
vault dweller.
Vault dweller.
I'm a
So
human.
Austin kind of explained earlier, vaults are essentially like kind of like fallout shelters where communities were based.
Yeah, so the company Vault Tech introduced vaults at the beginning of the war.
Great fucking name.
Yeah, to shelter entire communities from the nuclear fallout. And so basically these were kind of steampunk age suburban communities where people would live together and form their communities and form their own kind of city governments and things like that. What most people didn't know is that most, if not all, of these vaults were kind of the subject of Vault Tech's own scientific or sociological experiments. So there was usually a twist involved somehow. Some of them were just testing things that were more benign, like how humans may put societies together. Other ones may be more fucked up shit, like what Todd was describing.
Well, why didn't they just do a coup?
But at the end of the day, a vault dweller is basically just a dude, right?
Yeah, it's just a human in a blue jumpsuit with a Pip-Boy on his wrist.
Yeah, I got me one of them Vault Tech jumpsuits that I wear, and as I've been traveling around the wasteland, I've been gathering colorful stones and decorating it.
Opens all the way to the belly button. Big gaudy belt.
Phenomenal.
So, Corey, why don't you tell us about your character?
I will.
Thank you.
So my character is a ghoul, which you guys kind of described to me as a skinless freak.
Yeah.
That,
We didn't let Corey choose. We gave him this character.
yeah, Kyle kind of described they look kind of like the They Live aliens, or
That's what I always
Very
thought
much so,
when
yeah.
I saw them. It always reminded me of They Live, which, if you have not seen that movie with Roddy Piper and Keith David,
Yes.
do you
go
know
watch it.
our target audience?
Some of them are younger than 40.
They all have tattoos of They Live. My character's name is Bailey Big Smile. I did not make that up, but I was happy with it. So
That's a really good one.
Bailey is an intelligent ghoul. Spent their childhood traveling between settlements, turned away and feared by the locals.
So ghouls are these irradiated humans who have been turned corpse-like by the massive amounts of radiation that they've encountered.
Yeah, and Bailey also got hit in the face with a machete. That left a permanent. Yeah, it's in the description. Left with a permanent gash on their face and mouth. Bailey got very depressed after that, and
As one would.
So you're the Tyrion Lannister ghoul?
sorta, except way sadder. Bailey eventually started exhibiting signs of mental degradation, mental degeneration that might eventually lead them to going feral. The family tried to hide the condition and kept Bailey out of public view. This also made Bailey sad.
So you're pitiful and deranged even for a ghoul.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're
And-
you're the degenerate stepchild in the ghoul family.
Yeah. And more recently in Bailey's life, a fire burned down her house, killed her brother and mother, and Bailey's father murdered the man he believed responsible for the fire and was banished from the town, leaving Bailey alone and sad.
Cool.
Well, so you're like suicidal Gollum.
Yeah, except there's no ring to like fuel his passion.
So what is Bailey good at? Todd is smart. My
Bailey-
guy's strong.
Bailey's got a necktie. No, Bailey's also, like your character, Kyle, is immune to radiation damage.
Handy.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Mr. Handy, another character in the Fallout universe.
Mr. Hands?
Oh,
No,
Do not Google that,
no.
dear listeners.
There are robots that we may or may not encounter in the world. They're little floating spheres with a bunch of arms and limbs called Mr. Handies.
Oh, okay.
They're used as kind of robotic butlers.
But as far as Bailey Big Smile's strengths, highest stats are like endurance, not so much in the charisma. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So those are our characters. So the only other big question before we get started is, how did you guys meet so that you are wandering the wasteland together?
Probably met at church.
Yeah.
Is there religion in this game?
So
Like, is it like cults?
yes. So famously, I believe most people will recall the cult of the nuclear warhead in Megaton in Fallout, which is, I think, really nothing more than just a nod to Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
if
that's
anything
immediately
else.
what I thought. Yeah.
But just picture that kind of religion.
Okay.
always found them mutants and them ghouls kind of funny. Like hanging out with them. They make me laugh.
Oh, gosh.
Pretty good fellers.
Oh, my second uncle, Jerry, he can make you laugh. His jaw was detachable because of the radiation damage.
Oh.
That's it. That's the story.
All right. So you guys are wandering the wastelands together. You just kind of found each other and found you got along. We ready to get started?
Bailey, it didn't matter with Bailey.
Bailey was my pen pal.
It was a one-way pen pal relationship.
All right. Well, then we're ready to get started. So the name of this quick start adventure is called Once Upon a Time in the Wasteland. Chapter 1, Into the Vault. Welcome to the Commonwealth, the nuclear-ravaged wasteland outside of Old Boston. You have each followed the sounds of screams and gunfire to Vault 95, a remnant of the world before the Great War, before the bombs dropped. The first thing you see are the vault's external lights flickering several times, but remaining lit, and remarkably, its doors lie open. So picture the entrance to this vault as the top of one of those kind of in-ground missile silos.
Oh, gotcha. Like a Minuteman silo.
Yeah, kind of inviting any manner of scavengers or scoundrels to sneak inside. But what you see is a brief firefight going on. There are three figures at the mouth of the vault. A large, muscle-bound, bald man dressed in military fatigues and armed to the teeth charging out of the vault with 2 random raiders behind him. And they're all 3 firing at this pile of rubble behind which is hiding what looks like a scientist in like a white lab coat, real dirty. He's wearing metal boots and his face is covered with a gas mask, and he's just cowering behind this thing. And you hear the raiders shouting, "You're not going to get our treasure," as they are firing upon this scientist. What are you guys going to do?
Looks like it's 3 against 1. I don't like them odds. I don't like bullies. I say we try to help that feller out.
Okay.
What do you think, Bailey?
I don't care. What does it even matter? They probably did something wrong, and I don't care. It's
Pickle gives Bailey a hug.
Yes.
Oh, gosh, Bailey, I'm so sorry you had a hard life. Just let me give you a little squeeze 'em.
You can just smother me in my sleep if you don't mind. I don't even care.
Okay.
Loud gunshots break the silence, and you see them slowly surrounding and moving in closer to the pile of rubble, closing in on the scientist.
Now, where are we in relation to these events?
You are in this kind of outcropping of rock overlooking this fenced-in area where the vault begins. There's like this chain link fence surrounding what looks like this open missile silo. The pile of rubble that where the scientist is hiding is inside that fenced-in area. It just looks like he has stumbled upon this or is maybe following a trail. As you look closer, you can see this smeared blood trail leading into the mouth of this vault. So something's in there that wasn't before, and now the raiders just think somebody is trying to sneak inside the vault in her.
So this is a desolate wasteland. I'm sure there's just large boulders all around.
Yeah.
So after Duke Fury makes his proclamation, can I just pick up a boulder and hurl it at one of the raiders?
Yeah. As one of them turns around, or as they all 3 whip around, and you see the bald one, his name's Rad Rocky. He says, "Get him!" But he looks up right as this boulder is flying at the group, and he ducks out of the way. Let's see if why don't you make...
I have throwing.
Yeah, why don't you make a throwing check of, let's see, you're still a fair distance away. Let's say this is difficulty 2.
So normally throwing is agility plus throwing. With luck, we can spend a luck point.
And roll using your luck attribute instead.
Okay, you can't switch it to any other attribute?
No.
Oh. Well, my agility is lower than my luck, so I will actually do that.
Okay.
And I need 2.
Yeah.
And do we start with any momentum in this game?
You do not start with any. I start with 3, 1 for each of you.
So I'm rolling my luck plus my throwing.
Yep. So what number are you trying to beat?
8.
Okay.
Well, I got a 16 and a 7.
Okay.
So hot potato.
So the raiders look up just in time to see this boulder flying toward them. The leader, Rad Rocky, he ducks out of the way immediately. The one directly behind him is not quite as lucky. He takes a grazing hit on his arm, and it knocks him down enough that he will be last in the initiative order now.
Cool.
So everybody, look at your initiative. I was about to say roll initiative, but we do not have to do that.
Okay.
I'm a 10.
11?
12. Obviously, Bailey takes the initiative.
Obviously.
Sure, clearly seems like that kind of person.
All right, Rad Rocky is a 15.
Good God.
The Raiders are an 11.
Now, when we say raiders, these are Mad Max style
Yes.
wasteland raiders, right? Is that?
Yeah, kind of junky, scavenged together Raiders of the Wasteland.
Scavenger types.
Yeah. Rad Rocky's going to be the first to go, and he's got a lot of stuff he's packing, one of which is a sharpshooter's pipe revolver. And once per combat, Rad Rocky can do what's called Let Rip, where he fires a volley from his pipe gun, and this adds the weapon's fire rate of 1 to the damage. So he's firing a whole volley of bullets, and he's going to fire them at the super mutant. So his is a target number 8. Well, he rolled an 18 and a 12, so he missed.
Here we go, fellas.
Yes! They just,
Austin GMing.
the bullets just whiz around Pickle, and he looks around. I think they're sparrows. Go, guys, we may be. Oh, let me get my bird index.
Apologies to our listeners, but I'm just going to lay down over here for a while because this is going to be the most relaxing game we played. Sorry about the audio, but I am comfy inside and out.
All right, so next up is
I think it's Corey, right?
It's Corey.
Yeah, Corey, you're next. You've got 12, right?
Yeah. Bailey, won't you just go over there and tell them about the futility of life and the miserableness of existence, and maybe they'll just drop their weapons and go home.
I don't even want to do that. It's probably the scientist that's the evil one anyway. I know how I don't trust scientism.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on a second. I'm a scientist.
Well, hey, why don't you go tell him, like you did me yesterday, about how eventually darkness will consume everything and its life is pointless.
I don't even want to. Okay, fine. I'll kill them then. What does it even matter? I don't even want to be here. I want to be outside in meadow. But there aren't any meadows because everything's dead.
Damn it.
Okay, Bailey's going to use their baseball grenade.
How's that work?
You throw it like a baseball and it grenades them.
Cool.
So I've got a target number of 8. Do I combine that with a stat or?
No, I'm pretty sure that's probably your throwing and your agility combined already.
Oh, I see. So I just got to get under an 8.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just need 1 success.
Throwing, we're going to say that's a difficulty 2.
Yeah. So in the grand fashion of the history of grenades, I'm going to throw it at them in order to damage all of them if possible.
Okay. I think you're going to have to make a choice between the leader, Rad Rocky, and the 2 raiders.
I'll go for the 2 raiders.
Okay.
So roll my 2d20, target number's 8. That's a 17 and a 15.
All right.
Fuck you.
We're good at games.
That's typical. I mean, I wonder why I never got picked in dodgeball at school.
So it's actually a perfect throw, but midway, like just as he releases, Pickle just hammers it with his baseball bat because he got confused about what entirely was going on and thought we were just playing an impromptu game of baseball.
Yeah, that's typical.
And it actually soars over the fence and over a cliffside, and you hear a faint just boom off in the distance.
Okay, guys, high five.
All right, it's time for Duke Fury.
My family's dead.
All right. Duke Fury has a 10mm pistol.
Okay.
He is going to take aim at Rad Rocky,
Okay.
and he is trying for a headshot.
Okay, so taking aim will allow you to re-roll one of those die.
All right, and this is my small guns and agility.
And Rad Rocky, the leader, he is going for a boulder to take cover behind it, but he's not quite there to it.
Okay, my agility is a 5. I'm tagged in small guns,
Okay.
and so that gives me a rank of 2.
All right, so that means your crit range is 1 or 2.
And so my target number with a small gun is 7.
Okay, I'm going to say this is difficulty 2.
There's a 5 and a 7.
Nice. So a major success there. So how much damage does your 10mm pistol do?
10mm pistol does 4 damage.
So that's 4 d6s? Is that what
Yep.
he rolls? Okay.
Yup.
Nice. I have 2 5s, a 6, and a 4.
All right, so the 4 goes away. The 2 5s and a 6, that means 3 damage and 3 effect. Do you have any effect for that 10mm pistol?
No.
Okay. So the shots nail Rad Rocky in the shoulder right as he's kind of reaching this boulder, and it makes him kind of stagger the rest of the way and slows him down as he tries to duck behind this boulder to get behind it. You hear him shout out, "Ah! Kill those motherfuckers!" And the other raider that did not get hit by the boulder raises his pipe gun, and he's going to aim for Kyle. This is difficulty 2, target number 8, and he missed.
Pickle's swinging his bat, trying to hit the bullets. I can just never keep my eye on the bullet. That's what my coach always said to do, but I was never any good at it.
Roll your luck, Kyle.
No, that's a 9.
All right, it's your turn to attack.
So Pickle is going to charge across the field towards the raider that just shot at him. Can I reach him in one turn?
The direct approach. I'm going to say you can reach him. You'll have to push yourself a little bit to cover that ground. You'll only be able to take an action after that.
What was the difficulty hit him?
Just 1 if you're running directly up to him.
Yes, then I hit him. My target number was a 12, and I rolled an 11 and a 19.
Okay.
So that was with my baseball bat.
All right, so that's a hit. I'm going to roll randomly for what body part you managed to land on,
Sure.
since that was a general attack. That's the left leg, so roll your damage die.
Okay, Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah.
So I roll 6 damage.
Galooly would have been a good name for your character as well.
I rolled a total of 6 points of damage and 2 effect.
Okay.
Unfortunately, my baseball bat does not have any effect, so that's just 6 damage.
Okay.
To his left leg.
Okay.
Femur!
Well, we're going to say you hit the left leg, but it also glanced upward and blasted him under the chin. Effectively knocked this first raider the fuck out. Everyone sees Pickle just sprinting across the field. Even the other raider kind of freezes in place, and the scientist, you see this gas mask kind of peek over the rocks like, what the fuck? And Pickle runs at this raider and swings for his knee, but it does the JFK bullet thing where it hits his knee and glances upward and just undercuts this dude right in his fucking chin.
That's because I did a fancy pirouette.
And it doesn't knock his head off, but you really don't see how, because it snaps his head back enough that he just kind of falls backward like a cardboard cutout.
Towards the grassy knoll.
Well, look at that. His head went back and to the left.
Pickle points at the other raider. Baby Ruth.
And the other raider pales a little bit, but he takes aim because it's his turn, and he is going to fire his pipe gun, and he's going to take aim for Pickle's head, but he's now in close range, so it's only a difficulty 1. But with him taking aim, it's going to go back up to difficulty 2. Target number 8. He rolled a 4 and a 13, and his second roll was a 14, so he missed.
They actually hit Pickle. They just bounce off his skull.
Well,
One furrows his hair.
his one hair.
Yeah, his one.
Intense hair.
It's just a huge hair.
Yeah, it's the size of a rope.
Sometimes he wraps it around. That's like the super mutant comb over.
Oh.
You hear Rad Rocky from behind the rock saying, "Fucking useless amateurs." And he steps out from behind the rock and runs directly at Pickle, firing his pipe revolver.
Now, can I spend a luck to take my and turn out of initiative order?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. And
He's still running at you. So
he's running at me. I meet him and baseball.
now your target, your difficulty is only going to be 1. What's
Yeah.
your target number?
Target number 12.
Okay.
I rolled a 1 and a 12.
Wow, so crit.
So that's a crit and a 12. So that's 3 successes, which I only need 2. Now, I could add a momentum, or I could...
I'm not even going to roll the body part yet. Go ahead and roll your damage.
But do we add a momentum to the pool, or can I spend it on additional damage? Is that a thing in this game? I know that's in
You
Conan.
absolutely can spend it on additional damage.
Is it just 1 extra flat damage, or is it 1 extra damage die?
So, Kyle, I'm going to jump out of the game real quick and tell you, take the momentum.
Okay, yeah. So I'll take 1 momentum.
Okay.
Every one of those was a hit.
Ooh.
Okay. This
So-
would be the point in the scene where the camera pans up to the sky.
That's 8 points of damage.
Yeah. The camera just cuts over to Duke Fury and Bailey, who make horrified expressions on their face as we just hear the bone-crunching sounds of what happens when Pickle swings his bat. And the camera still holds on these two characters because they just see the other raider sprinting past.
Duke Fury looks at Bailey and says, and that's why we call it pickleball.
Yeah, I don't like it.
All right, so that third raider is running away. Do you guys want to take any other action while he's fleeing?
I don't know why our new friend's running away, but okay.
No, Bailey doesn't care.
Okay. All right, so you have defeated your first encounter in Fallout, guys.
Yay!
The scientist slowly, cautiously, with his eyes on Pickle, who is now covered in blood,
Oh, hi.
steps cautiously over and holds up his hands, and you just hear him say, "Thank you."
Yeah, no problem, there, fella. I'm Duke Fury, fellow scientist and a smart person.
You can thank me now, but you're gonna regret it because you have to meet me. Who cares about my parents are dead?
This here's my buddy Bailey. Got a touch of the blues.
I don't even like music anymore.
So there's this wet squishing stomping sound, and then Pickle like stands up, and he has the Red Rocky's head on his hand like a sock puppet. And he's talking with the mouth. "Hi there, I'm Pickle, and this is my friend Rocky. Oh, hey there, Rocky." But it's he doesn't understand ventriloquism, so he's just.
One time I got beat up by a puppet.
For a moment, we cut into the POV.
Typical. Imagine
I said
that.
I was sorry.
For a moment, we cut into the POV inside the gas mask, and the breathing is so heavy that it's fogging up the lenses. Please, friends, it's okay. He doesn't take off his mask, but he does step closer.
Won't you tell us why them fellers were so hell-bent on taking you out there?
My name is Dr. Rast. He takes a nervous but brave step towards the center of the circle. Please, there's someone inside that vault, and they're in trouble. And besides, I think there's enough valuables inside for all of us. There's no need for anyone to die inside there. Will you help me find them?
Okay.
Thank you.
I think Pickle speaks for all of us, because if we disagree with him, there's always a chance we could end up a hand puppet. So we'll do whatever you need.
I've failed my driver's test 3 times.
This reminds me of that time my best friend Mario Andretti got in trouble.
Okay.
By the way, it's been well established in our group dynamic that Pickle does whatever Duke Fury says. Because he cannot imagine anybody cooler than Duke Fury.
Yeah, definitely not me, I guess.
And he desperately wants to make Bailey happy. And so he leans down, Pickle leans down and starts trying to gift wrap the head in what is left of Rad Rocky's clothes. And he's trying to tie this crude bow, and he's got the look of consternation that all the idiots have in the movies, or like he's like biting his tongue, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna get it here. Oh gosh, and it like he gets his finger stuck in the bow.
As you're messing with Rad Rocky's clothes, his sharpshooter's pipe revolver falls out. Do all of you already have guns?
Yeah, I got me a gun. I got one of them 10mm jobs.
Yeah, I got a gun, but I'll dual wield.
Okay.
Put one to each temple.
I think
one of them falls out if anybody wants it.
It's, won't you pick that gun up there, Bailey? I really don't think that Pickle here needs any.
Okay. Well,
Needs a gun to take care of himself. He can.
Please, we must hurry. Someone's in there, and I think they're dying.
I've never even been invited to my own birthday party.
Well, we got a party in this vault here, Bailey, and you were definitely invited. Let's go see what this feller's talking about.
Probably a torture party.
Okay.
So Dr. Rast leads the way as you cross the rickety walkway leading through the entrance of the vault. The old metal creaks beneath you, underscoring the howling of a radioactive windstorm building outside. An elevator stands at the end of the path to the vault. Above its dented doorway hangs a wide green sign from the old world, a notice from the Vault Tech Corporation that reads, Vault 95. Welcome home. Proceed in an orderly fashion.
Probably says no Baileys allowed or something.
So most of these vaults are, the actual vault entrance is inside this little metal landing room inside that open silo looking facility. And it looks like this gigantic gear that slides out from the wall and rolls to the side to reveal this elevator.
This brings back some memories back when I was in Vault 75. I told you we did a coup on our teachers, right? It reminds me, it brings back so many good memories, like the time that I grabbed the dean of that school by his throat, and with my other hand, I shoved it down his mouth and reached all the way down into his chest cavity and pulled his heart straight out of his mouth.
Pickle claps.
Rast looks at you a couple of times and then just presses the button on the elevator.
Oh, yeah, you know the secret code to get in.
Well, I know the button that makes it go down.
Well, you look really good at pushing buttons, so if anything happens, just turn off the fucking life support.
Yeah, that way, if there are any bad guys, their lives turn off.
No, it's talking about me, but I don't care. I mean, you don't care. Nobody
I
cares.
think it's hug time.
The small elevator rumbles and shakes unsteadily as it descends, deeper and deeper into the earth. The lights lining the threadbare walls flicker a few times but remain lit, illuminating a sticky pool of blood gathered in one corner of the floor. At last, with a grinding shriek of metal gears, the elevator slams roughly into the bottom of the shaft.
Would you say this is an ominous and scary descent? Yeah. Pickle holds out his hand to Duke Fury.
Thank you there, Pickle.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Friends
you.
hold hands in scary situations.
Well, yeah, I've never held a hand.
You want to hold my hand?
No. Why? You're probably just going to bite me like that cat we had. It loved everybody. Everybody that came around that cat loved, and it just bit me. Stupid fucker.
I would bite the cat back.
Well, his name was Twinkles. Fuck Twinkles.
Since Bailey won't also hold Pickle's hand, Pickle reaches in and pulls out a hand and just holds on in his other hand.
Yeah, Pickle just has this suspiciously wet sack hanging from his belt.
With a cheery ding, the doors slide open to reveal a bare underground corridor of exposed pipes.
I thought you were going to stop at a bear.
Oh my God.
That'd be typical.
Pickle is terrified of bears.
Smears of fresh blood are evident along the right side wall, and you see handprints leading all the way down to a closed steel door halfway down this stretch of hallway. On the floor, 2 human skeletons lie entangled with one another just off to the side of the door.
Yeah, even dead people have friends, I guess.
One's holding a knife. One is holding a knife inside the jaw of the other.
Real friendly.
And the other is jamming a chem injector into the eye socket of the other.
This reminds me of kindergarten.
I failed kindergarten. They held me back.
So you're looking down this corridor, and you can see the doorway at the end of the hall, and there's a kind of disused computer terminal that the screen's not on, but it's faintly blinking off to the side. You can tell it's still at least semi-functional, but not necessary to get the door open.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but what it seems like is no one has been down here in a very long time, but someone recently left a blood trail down through here.
Yes.
Hey, science fella. You want to let us know what the hell's going on here?
Well, I don't know anything about this vault, but I'm just trying to find the trail of the person who recently crawled through here.
I'd follow the blood, I guess.
Was that your best friend?
I don't know who it was, but I have a suspicion it may have been my... See, I left my vault, my community, in search of my daughter.
Did you do a coup before you left?
We did not have to do a coup. Our community is currently functioning, but...
When you look at your daughter, do you want to throw up like my parents always did?
Yeah. Do you want to do that?
I don't.
I just want to lay eyes on my daughter once more.
I have eczema too.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I've seen many of your kind. You don't look ugly to me at all.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Hey, you don't know what's underneath that mask.
My mom always said, Doc, that if we're lying, we're not really trying. So,
My mom just said, "Get out of my sight" all the time. It was the only human interaction I ever had.
All right, so what are you guys going to do?
Killing myself.
well, I mean, so Pickle is not smart enough to suggest it, but we should probably go check out the terminal.
Yes. I would guess Duke Fury would be the one to do that between the three of us.
I'm guessing.
I mean, I'll try, but the last time I got on a computer, I got it all virused because I can't not click on pop-ups. Yeah,
I mean,
it's just another fault.
So who has a science skill?
I do.
Okay.
I am tagged in science. Let's see. My intelligence is 9, and I'm tagged in science, and my rank is 3.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you've got a definite odds. This is difficulty 1 to hack this terminal.
All right. Well, there's a 4 and a 19.
Okay. All right, so you passed.
1 success.
Yeah, you passed. So the terminal helpfully gives you this long list of just jumbled words together. Fallout fans know how this works. And eventually you are able to work out the password to this terminal. And you find your way in, and you see that it's just a series of files on various test subjects within this vault. Without going too into it, you essentially discover the real purpose of this vault. Vault 95 was a community of drug addicts who were working on programs to break their addictions to various chems. At some point, there was a planted agent within the vault community who basically, quote unquote, discovered all of these drugs that were hidden in a pre-planted stash and basically reintroduced them into this now clean society in order to see what would happen.
Ooh.
I wonder what happened.
It was not pretty. No, they turned on each other quite quickly. But you also see a switch down at the bottom to be able to unlock all level 1 doors.
One time I tried to get addicted to drugs because fuck it, and then the drugs wouldn't take because they didn't like me.
Sure.
All right, well, Duke Fury's going to click on that button and unlock all them level 1 doors.
All right. You hear a soft hiss as like several doors further within the facility. It's like an airlock sliding open. The door next to the terminal, the light flashes from red to green. So Dr. Rast is impatient at this point, and he pushes open the door, shoulders it open, and then he stands kind of frozen on the threshold, looking inside. In the back of the room, sitting with her back slumped against an adjacent desk, is a young woman with short, dark hair wearing a warm, tight-fitting tunic suited for long-distance travel. Her glasses lay askew on her nose, one of the lenses fractured. Her hands are soaked in blood as they try to apply pressure to a vicious hole in her abdomen. After a few moments, she looks up and speaks in a serene but pained voice. "Hey there," she says, smiling enough that you can see her broken teeth. "Looks like you're all stuck with me now." Rast goes to her side to just generally see if there's anything he can do for her, but he looks up at you and shakes his head.
Okay, let's go.
"It's not my daughter, but she doesn't have long."
Must be nice.
Is she shot in the stomach?
She has been.
So Pickle starts going through his sack looking for intestines.
"It's a shame," she says, "just when I was about to find a place to use it."
What were you going to use there, little mama?
She looks up at you and just kind of squints. So you have an opportunity to ask her some questions while Dr. Rast is working on her.
That's what I was doing. I was asking, what is it that you were talking about?
And you can tell by her reaction that she doesn't trust you enough to answer that question yet.
Well, if it's not too much trouble, when you die, will you just come back and tell me how bad it sucks? Because I know it's going to fucking suck.
All right, now, look here, sweet thing. We done had us a firefight outside. Now you tell us what's going on before you pass on into the great beyond.
Well, I was trying to return from a scouting trip when I was captured by the gunners, but I managed to shoot one of them and get away, but they chased me back here, and I caught a bullet, and I had to hide out in this vault. That's all I really feel safe saying to a bunch of strangers.
Are you familiar with the name Duke Fury, scientist?
You can tell by her face she is not. She looks like maybe that should be something she wishes she had heard of back in the days when she was going to be alive.
She'd probably be happier knowing Duke Kevlar, the scientist.
Now that you're this close, you can see that beneath her tunic is a vault uniform, and you can see a Pip-Boy on her wrist.
So Pickle goes to his other sack, which is not blood-soaked, and he takes out a potted plant, and he scoots it across the floor towards her and says, "Here, you can have this. Maurice will keep you company in your last moments."
She's not fucking E.T., man.
Oh, it's actually... A tear actually comes to her eye. She said, it's nice to be able to see a plant again. I always dreamed about what the world up above would look like while I was inside my vault. I vowed I'd never die inside one, and I left mine only to wind up dying here inside another one."
So can I use Maurice and my charisma to try to improve her mood or her thought or her thinking of us?
Sure.
And so we have one momentum, right?
You do.
And one momentum is equal to one die, correct?
It is.
I'm going to use that.
Okay, this is a difficulty 2.
And my speech is a 1. My charisma is 6, so that's a 7. Rolled a 2 and a 13 and 12. So no, that's unfortunately no. Only one success.
Should I throw some charisma on the lady also?
You can give it a try. So what is your charisma, Todd?
It's a 6. My speech is not tagged, but I have a rank of 2. So that's an 8.
Yep.
Right.
As you lean forward, she says, Is that a Pip-Boy? She's looking at the one on your wrist.
What's a Pip-Boy?
It's the little mini computer system on the wrist of anyone who has lived in a vault.
It's an Apple Watch.
Yeah, I got you.
Yes, ma'am. That there is my own personal Pip-Boy.
Your difficulty is now just a 1.
All right. Well, Duke Fury rolled a 13 and an 18.
All right. You can always use luck to try and re-roll one.
I am going to do that, which will bring my luck down to 4. And that's a 16.
Duke Fury.
All right.
Okay, can I give it a try, I guess? I don't know.
Well, Todd succeeded more than he thought. The reason it was a difficulty 1 is to divulge a specific piece of information. The actual difficulty of getting her to trust you was reduced to 0 once she saw the Pip-Boy on your wrist.
Oh.
She says, "All right, I may as well tell you. I was being hunted because the gunners learned that I know the hidden location of a device called the GEC. It's a Garden of Eden creation kit, capable of terraforming even the most irradiated wasteland into a lush, fertile place.
Doubt it.
At this, you notice Dr. Rast stops what he's doing and is looking at her to listen. She said, I hope to find the perfect location to use the GEC so that I could lead my family and friends out of the dying vault and give them a perfect new home, but I'm not going to be able to make it now.
Well, just give us the GEC and tell us where your family is, and we'll save them probably as far as you know.
I can't trust anyone to tell them where it is. It's hidden in my home outside of Diamond City. Dr. Rast kind of leans forward and says, has it already been tested? And she just shakes her head no. But you can tell she's kind of unwilling to tell you any more than that. He soaks a washcloth with cold water from his canteen, rubs it over her head and says, I'll stay with you here. Just rest. She only manages a weak nod.
Bailey curb stomps her.
Rast says, you're not my daughter, but you remind me so much of her. She's brave, just like you. Is there anything we can do for you? And as you see the kind of last vestiges of light kind of leaving her eyes, she grasps his arm and she says, Diamond City, find a man named Clemens and tell him Mika said it's time to find the promised land. And then she slowly relaxes and exhales.
It must be nice to not live.
When you guys look back down, she's definitely dead.
Pickle pokes her.
Lucky.
Are you faking like my cousin Marvin did?
Rast stands up, taking a long breath as he looks down at her. He's still wearing his gas mask, but you can tell he seems shaken. And he looks back at you and says, I have to find that GEC, but I don't think I can do it on my own. And Rast leads the way back to the elevator.
Duke Fury saves the planet Earth. I like the sound of that. Let's go do it.
And so you take the elevator back up.
I'd take her body and put it in my sack.
So you take the elevator back up. You emerge back out on the surface, out in the open wasteland. And Dr. Rast says, all right then, to Diamond City.
So it's like a whole city made out of diamonds.
You'll just see when we get there. And he starts walking.
Diamonds aren't even worth anything anymore. It's all bottle caps and crap.
Oh, I got bottle caps and crap.
And that's where we'll end for the night.
Okay.
So great job, guys.
Cool.
I guess.
You guys made a lot of headway.
So should we just murder Dr. Rast now?
All right.
Or should we
Now.
wait until his inevitable betrayal? I'm fine either
So
way. I'm fine either. I've played these games before.
Sure. I think this is going to be fun. I like it.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
2D20's fun. It's been a while since we played one of these games. I think Octon Cthulhu was the last one we played. Probably.
Conan.
Conan or Conan, yeah. But I love this setting.
Yeah, it's fun. It's bleak.
It is.
That's our
really is.
all these games are fucking bleak.
Yeah, so I'm assuming a Garden of Eden creation kit just makes like a valley nice. It doesn't transform the whole planet, right?
No, it's not the whole planet. It
not-
basically kind of creates an oasis.
It's not
Yeah.
Search for Spock.
Yeah.
It's not a Genesis machine. Okay.
Yeah. Also from the video games, the GEC. All right. Well, my first experience has gone okay so far. I
Good
think.
job.
Yeah,
Good
I'm
job.
glad you feel that way.
Well, thank you to all our Patreon members. None of you showed up in this episode, but I'm sure some of you will die very soon as we
Yeah.
play Fallout.
Thank you to all of our patrons. We love you and we appreciate you, and we hope you're enjoying the show. And everybody else, you can follow us on the social medias. Please rate and comment, and we'll see you next time.
And thanks to our sponsor, Barrel and Bond.
Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway, downtown Paducah. The bathroom has been eliminated. You cannot pee there ever again. There was a portal. I don't know what happened, but it sucked out bathrooms.
Well, mistakes were made.
Raiders.
But they're working on it. I mean, fire code says you got to have them.
This is the fire code?
Right.
Thank you to you, dear listener.
Yes, thank you.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.